This is Jason from Ingested, aka the Slam King, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show.
I'm with Jason from Ingested, who's fresh face and pre-show here in Barcelona on the tour with Cannibal Corpse and Dog Funeral. How's it going, man? It's date 70 out of 40, and I believe you're doing one-off 6 on. It must be hell.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing.
In a good way.
Yeah, it's hell in a good way. Like, we're out here living our dreams. Like, this is everything that we've worked 17 years for. And now it's like, finally, everything seems to be slotting into place and coming to fruition. And yeah, I can't complain. Like, if you'd have told us 17 years ago that we'd have been tear-assing around Europe on some massive European tour with Cannibal Corpse, like, I'd have been like, nah, but yeah, like, we're here and we're doing it, like, so I feel blessed.
Now, what do you like to do on the road? You know, do you like to get up to much? Do you see much of the cities? Do you look at the schedule and see that, you know, you got like certain cities you want to go and have certain meals in and certain beers are better in that place? Do you look at that and go, yeah, we're going there? Is that sort of thing you do?
To be honest, like, most of the time, it's kind of, we rock up to the venue, then we'll go into the venue, we'll get some breakfast, then it's loading, so then we have to load all the gear, all the merch in, and then by that time it's like it might have time to get a shower if the shower's available, and then it'll be like dinner time, and then the doors open, and then then it's go time. So I mean, like, most of the time we don't really get any time in between, like, in the day, but today it was a bus drop off because there's no parking for the buses outside the venue. So the bus, like, dropped us off really early, so we did the loading, and then I just buggered off into Barcelona. It's my birthday today, so I went and went to a Warhammer shop and treated myself to some Warhammer.
Nice. Something to do on the bus while you're travelling around 40 countries.
Yeah.
40 cities.
Yeah, 40 cities, yeah.
And almost straight after that, you're on tour in the States on a headline tour. We've got babies crying and everything in here. You know, you're leaving no stone unturned with this tour, with you know, on the back of the album. You know, what else is going to happen in the rest of the year and early 24?
Well, we've got a really busy year this year. Like you said, we've got this tour, then we go straight on tour on a headliner in America with Devourment. And then after that, we've got some shows in the UK and Ireland with Lorna Shore. And then we do Download as well.
Awesome.
And then we've got some European plans as well for later in the year. And then I think that's it until 2024, and then we've got even bigger things coming in 2024, but I can't tell you anything about that yet. So,
of course, in suspense. And obviously, talking about Lorna Shore, you did a sold-out tour back in autumn last year, and the States is a place to be for you. And you've just said to me earlier, off camera kind of thing, that you're bigger in the States than you are anywhere else. You've got a bigger fan base. Why is that, do you think?
I think it's to do with the style of music that we play. Like we were talking about before, it's sort of like if a lot of people, when they hear Ingested, if they don't know anything about us, they just assume that we're American. Until, like, obviously I open my mouth on stage and then they're like, oh my God, who's that?
The
mank comes out. And but yeah, I think it's just more to do with the style. Like, I think that style is, like, a lot more prevalent over there. Obviously, like, I mean, that's where death metal really came from, isn't it? It's like you got Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Morbid Angel. Like, that's where that stuff came from. So I guess, like, with us playing that style, it's more suited over there. So yeah, we seem to be more popular in the States than we are in our home country. So I mean,
it's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy, and that's just a big tour as well coming up in May. How many dates is that one?
Well, I think that's about 4.5, maybe 5 weeks, but it's a long one.
You're back for summertime, back for for Donington, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So over to the studio side of things, you released the awesome Ashes Lie Still back in November. The album is a few months old now. How has the reaction been?
Really good, really, really good. We got some amazing reviews. The fan reaction has been fantastic. We've put out loads of music videos. Yeah, I mean, it's had Metal Blade Records' debut album as well. Like, so, I mean, for me, it couldn't have gone any better, really. So, like,
and what's it like being your first album with Metal Blade, an awesome label? What's it like being with them? How have they looked after you?
Oh, they've been fantastic. Like, honestly, from the moment, like, well, even before we signed with them, like, they've treated us so well. They made us feel so welcome straight away. Like, you know, like, they, like, we really matter to them, which is like that's a crazy feeling to feel that as a band and an artist, like to get that from a label is, I think it's very rare. It's certainly something that we've not really experienced before. So yeah, like I think this is the beginning of a very long and fruitful relationship. I think
I've never heard a bad word about Metal Blade. The amount of bands I speak to on Metal Blade as well, they have a great word to say about them. And are you the kind of band that goes looking for reviews and responses? Are you online looking at YouTube comments and reviews, or do you kind of avoid that?
I mean, personally, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't give a fuck what people think. Like I don't care. Like, the way I see being in a band is you are in such a unique position where you're able to make the exact type of music that you want to hear.
Yeah.
So if you're in a band and your own band isn't your favourite band, then what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. Like, so for me, like we make music that we want to hear, that we think is awesome, and if our fans like it, that's amazing, and I love that. Like that makes me feel so good. But if people don't like it, then fuck you, I don't care. Like, I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, so for me personally, I don't give a shit like what people think.
That's exactly what it should be. Now, how do you guys like to approach the writing and recording process? You know, are you more traditional in the fact of getting in a room together, or do you do things more remotely? How does it work?
We do things separately. So Sean is obviously our only guitarist now. There's only 3 of us now. So Sean will write all the music, then he'll send that to Lynn. Lynn will write his drums over that, then that'll get sent, the basic structure of the song will get sent to me, then I'll write lyrics, Sean will write lyrics as well, and then we'll piece all that together, and then like basically we'll bat it backwards and forwards. So like, say if I write some vocal pattern or some lyrics, and then Sean or Lynn hear something where they're like, right, okay, well then we can change the riff here or the drum beat here to match the vocal pattern, and then we'll like send it between us, and then eventually we'll end up with after a long time we'll end up with a finished product, and then we go into the studio and record. Like, but we've all got like home recording equipment and stuff. So like we basically scratch track and demo every single song for every single album before we go into the studio, so that when we go into the studio we know exactly what we're doing, like, and we just bang it out. Like this, the album that we just recorded, I think I did all of the vocals in like 4 days.
Really?
Yeah, because I was prepared.
Yeah.
Because I'd been recording these songs over and over and over again for like months.
Yeah.
So then as soon as we went in, I was just like, right, I know exactly what I'm doing. I just blasted it out, and then you can like, then it get. The good thing about that is once you've got all that down, then you can like spend like an afternoon like experimenting with new sounds, and like, you know, like, oh well, what if I like put my tongue in this position, and then like, do you know what I mean? And then you can like make new sounds and weird monster noises that I've not made before, and then see if it works.
No, I get it. Now, you had Sven from Aborted and many others on the album. You know, with that in mind, you know, how do you choose, or how do they invite themselves onto the album, and who ideally would you like in the future?
Ooh, well, I mean, we're like really selective when it comes to our guest vocal appearances, because one of my pet peeves, one of the things that I really, really hate, is when bands get a guest vocalist on and they're on the song for about 20 seconds, like right at the end of the song. For me, like, what's the point in that? Like, there's one, you've wasted it, and 2, that to me just seems like you're clout chasing. You've got someone on a song just for the sake of having them on a song, so that you get more bloody likes or clicks or listens or whatever. Like, for us, when we get a guest vocalist, they're on the entire song. Like, the whole song is like written around having them on the song. So yeah, like that's kind of how, like, and we'll make sure that song musically like fits that vocalist as well. So like, we've had people like Kirk Winstein from Crowbar on, and he was on like a really slow, sludgy, like dark, melodic sort of song. And then we had like you said, Sven from Aborted, and that one was pacey and
great track.
Like, and so yeah, it's like that's how we like have or see guest vocals on our song. Like, they need to be an actual part of the song rather than just, oh, well, let's just put them on the end and then we can just say that they're featuring. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's what a lot of bands do, and I think it sucks. As for who would I like to get on a song, obviously Corpse Grinder, man. He's the guy, isn't he? He's the guy. It's gotta be. Well,
you got to do that. No, you're fully mates. Now, this is your first album as a three-piece. How was that, and how do you think you're evolving from album to album? Because obviously losing members and not replenishing the bass player and not bringing a new player in, having touring guys. What's it like, and how are you evolving throughout the albums?
I mean, if anything, like... Right, okay, so first things first. It sucks when like a band member leaves, because obviously we've all been original members since the start. Like, we've never had any replacement members or anything, and it sucks because you're losing someone that you've spent years with. But if I'm being brutally honest, like, this is the best we've ever been. Like, there is, like, me, Sean and Lynn are all on the same page, like, with regards to the music and with regards to the vision for what we want for Ingested. We know exactly, like, where we want to go and what direction, like, we want to take all of this in. So yeah, I think we're better now than ever. The writing process hasn't changed because Sean always wrote the music anyway, like 99% of it. So yeah, I think it's just, we're just getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Do you think you'll bring a bass player in, or is it good as it is?
Maybe in the future. I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, the reason why we don't just get someone in as a permanent member is because we've spent 17 years building this, and it's sort of like, you can't. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like you're giving your baby, part of your baby, away to somebody who's just turned up, really. Like, they've only just arrived. But it's like, maybe in the future though. But it's like, do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of fickle and fair weather people in this industry. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of band hoppers that'll pop from band to band to band. And I don't want to make someone an official member just for them to fuck off, like, when something better comes along.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe if we have someone who's perfect and, like, you know, they put the time in and give us the commitment and they're with us for a good few years, then hell yeah, like, absolutely. But I mean, for now, like, this is us. So
with that all in mind, let's have a history lesson. How did you guys start? I believe the band is, well, you said 17, but it's 20 years now, isn't it, surely? No, is it 17 years?
2006.
Was it 2006? So 17 years, coming up to 20.
Yeah.
How did you get together? How did it all start? And what made you choose the direction that you did?
Okay, so, well, we can go back a little bit further than 17 years, actually, because me and Sean were in a band before Ingested that was pretty much all the same members apart from the drummer, and they were called Age of Suffering, and it was sort of like, it was more like old school death metal, like grindcore sort of stuff, because we were kind of limited by the drummer that we had at the time. Like, he weren't Lynn, basically.
Right.
And so
he's immense,
he's fast, man. Like, and so we were in that band, and we played a few shows that started in 2004. And then we played a few shows, like, around the country and that. And then 2006, we met Lynn, and he was playing for a band called Decapity, and he was playing for Crepitation as well. And we were like, holy shit, this guy's mad. Like, and then so we started talking to him. We were like, yo, do you want to, like, jump on an EP and play on an EP for us? And he was like, yeah. So like, we got rid of the old drummer, like, kind of broke the old band apart. Like, reformed, scrapped all the old songs, like, and then renamed ourselves Ingested, and that was 2006. And then so obviously we recorded the music, which would become the Northwest Slam Fest, which was like the first thing we ever recorded as Ingested. And then Lynn liked the music so much and liked us as people that he was just like, yo, I'm in. Like, so then, like, he left the other bands, and that's how we started. And then we just went from strength to strength. Then we got signed to Siege of Amida. We put out our first album in 2009, which was Surpassing the Boundaries of Human Suffering, which is still one of the most brutal and horrifically offensive albums that's ever been, like, committed to tape. Like, Because at the time we were all like 18, something like that. So and we were like listening to stuff like Devourment, Dying Fetus, Cannibal Corpse, and all that. And we were just like, we can be more brutal than that. We can write more offensive songs than that, and we did. Like, and I don't think anyone's topped that shit.
So going on to like, obviously Lynn left the bands that he was in, and obviously he's an awesome drummer. Would that be the situation if you brought someone else in? You want them to be, 100% ingested?
Well, I mean, this is our full-time job. Yeah. Like, this is our career, and we're on tour for most of the year. So they would have to. Yeah. Like, they would have to. This would have to be the priority, which is, again, that's, do you know what I mean? That's hard to find someone who wants to commit to that without being made an official member straight away. Yeah. But it's like, well, for us, because we've spent most of our lives, like, building this, it's like, well, you have to earn this, like, do you know what I mean? The same way we've earned it. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
And with Lynn living in Mallorca, do you make regular excuses to go and see him to get some sunshine away from the grim north?
Oh, nah, we see each other enough. Like, we see each other enough. Like,
just for the sunshine.
No. When we go home, that's our break from each other.
So let's go back to you, like, individually, what first got you into metal? What bands was it, and when was that?
All right, so my earliest memory, I must have been, I know I was in primary school, but it must have been the arse end of primary school, so I must have been about 10, maybe 11. That's about the age. That's like year 6, is it? Yeah. And I was round at my friend David's house, like, and I was having tea at his house.
Shout out to David.
Well, shout out to his brother Andrew as well, because like we were downstairs and we were like playing with like action figures or whatever. And then I can hear this like ungodly racket coming from upstairs, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's my brother. He's listening to his metal CDs. I was like, can we go? I want to know what it is. Like, so we go up, we knock on his bedroom door, and he's like, what's up? And Dave's like, oh, Jason wants to know what you're listening to. And he's like, oh, come on in. This is Fear Factory. And he was like playing me D-Manufacture album, like Obsolete. Then he's like playing me Pantera. What else was he playing? Machine Head, like Cold
Classics.
Chamber, everything. And I was just like, what is this? Like, and then that night, when my mum came to pick me up, Dave's brother Andrew goes, yeah, take these CDs home with you, borrow them. You can, and he lent me D-Manufacture and Obsolete, and I took them home, and I didn't have like a like one of the Sony Walkman CD players yet. I was still on tape at that point. But we had an Alba stereo at home, so like I put them in and I taped them, recorded them onto tape, and then like I just listened to them, and that's my earliest memory. Like that's my earliest memory of how I got into metal, and then I rabbit holed from there. But like the thing that made me want to be in a band was watching the VHS of the Pantera home videos. Like when I watched those home videos, I was just like, this is what I want to do with my life. And then I spent like most of my life like just working to get to that. Like I used to play drums, I tried playing guitar, I was shit at both. And then when I was in college, I was like 17, and my friend Gary, who was like playing drums for the band that would become Age of Suffering, that would eventually become Ingested, he was like, oh, do you know anybody who can do like death metal vocals? And I was like, I'll fucking do that. Like, never done it before in my life. Like, so I went home, and do you remember those old like PC microphones that were like you used to speak, you used to chat to your mates on AOL Messenger and shit, right? And I used that. And used a voice recorder on my mum's computer. Like, this was in her bedroom as well. And I recorded Ruined by Lamb of God. And I was like, but like, because it was like pretty late at night, I'm like trying to be really quiet. So I'm like, it was proper shit. And but I recorded it anyway. I was just like, I'm going to shoot my shot, whatever. And then I sent it to them. They were like, yeah. Why don't you come round? We've got a practice at Gary's house. Like, like you could like have a bit of an audition. So then I went, and so for my live audition, I sang "Spheres of Madness" by Decapitated, but with a Polish accent. because I was like, all right, that's how it's supposed to be. And it's all like, whoopee, go down everything. Like, it's fucking. But yeah, and then I got the job, and then that band became Age of Suffering, and then Age of Suffering became Ingested, and eventually that's led me to this table having this conversation.
Yeah. So, talking about the vocal side of things, we just had a brief conversation before, but how do you look after your vocals on tour and pre-studio as well, with regards to how brutal the vocals are, and if you're doing it, for 40 dates over so many weeks, how do you keep it fresh?
Well, luckily, for us, this isn't a headline tour, so we've only got like a half an hour set. So doing 6 half-an-hour sets per week, that's child's play. Like, I can do that. That's easy. That's no problem. But really, I mean, like, I've got to thank Extreme Vocal Institute, David Benitez. He's my vocal coach, and when COVID hit and we weren't touring for ages and stuff, I kind of like lost my step a little bit, and like I had like some kind of weird mental block where I was like super like over anxious about my vocals and stuff, and I thought I couldn't do it anymore and stuff, and I worked with him, and now like I feel more confident than I ever have. And I think a lot of it it's not just the physical thing, like, because a lot of it's mental, so it's like you have to place yourself right in your brain, like for me anyway, at least. But other than that, I mean, like the physical stuff, it's just warming up, making sure you're warmed up, making sure I stretch like my whole body out and everything, stretch all my neck, my arms, my diaphragm, everything, and it's just about knowing where the power comes from. Like, so like I used to scream with my throat, which is bad. That's real bad. Like, whereas now I push from my diaphragm, and just create the distortion with like my soft palate and stuff. So it's just I've had to learn on the job, because like back when I started, there weren't really no YouTube, or they were, but it weren't what it is now. Like, it's not like you can just go on YouTube now and like there's loads
to do anything.
There's like loads of like 15-year-olds in the bedrooms doing like like, do you know what I mean? It's like, what, like, there was none of that shit. I've had to figure it out over the years, and like, and that's it really. I mean, like, you just have to just not be stupid. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't overexert yourself. Know your limits. Like, don't over push. Make sure you warm up. Warming up's the biggest thing.
I get it. So, being from Manchester, what's the Manchester metal scene like? Is it a close-knit society? And I believe that you had a dig at the UK extreme music scene, like, was saying that, a few things about, giving some honest truths about it. So, do you remember that? Yeah, go on, tell me about it. Let's talk about Manchester first.
Well, let's talk about Manchester. Slamchester, as we like to call it. Like, that is our home base. Like, and they're like the only, like, I love Manchester. Like, those shows are fucking awesome. So I can't, like, every time we play Manchester, it's like, I don't know, it makes me want to cry sometimes, like, because it's just like, you just feel that pride, like, do you know what I mean? Like, but as far as like the UK scene, it's not really the scene, it's more the industry.
That's it.
It's more the industry. It's like, it just fucking pisses me off, because it's sort of like, there's so many bands that are out there doing like the fucking work, and they get none of the fucking press, they get none of the coverage, and it's the same fucking bands over and over again that are getting pushed by the magazines, pushed by the fucking festivals. And it's like, I mean, like, here's an example. Like, we've been touring the fucking world, like, making a fucking mark for like British death metal. When have you ever seen us in a fucking magazine? When have you ever seen us, like, how long has it taken us to get onto fucking Download? Like, come on, man, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it just pisses me off, because I'm just like, yo, what, like, do you know what I mean? Are we invisible or something? Like, what's going on here? And but I mean, like, then again, I just think, well, fuck you, like, I don't care. Like, sometimes, like, I think, like, I'll get like all pissed off about it, and then I'll think, do you know what, I don't fucking care. If you don't care, then I don't fucking care. Do you know what I mean? So then I'm just like I said before, at the end of the day, we're doing this for us. If you like us, that's fucking amazing. If you want to get behind the best fucking death metal band in the fucking UK scene, and you want to fucking support your fucking boys the way that we've fucking flown the flag fucking UK death metal, that's great. If you don't, then kiss my fucking ass. Like, do you know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. And this is why you're sat here now, you know, doing sold out tours in the States and, you know, 40-date tours around Europe. You know what I mean? Who needs the UK right now?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, to all our UK fans, I fucking love you guys. It's not you. It's not the scene. It's the fucking industry.
Yeah.
They can suck my dick. Like,
Now, let's go back to, what's your favourite element of the music career? Is it playing live or recording?
playing live. I love it, man. I just love it. Like, getting on stage, feeling the buzz, and like just doing what I love. Like, this is what I love. I wasn't made to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was born for.
Yeah.
So
right.
like getting to do this is
man.
like, I can't even put it into words.
No, I love it. I see your passion, mate. So, if you could have performed on any album throughout time, what would it be?
Far Beyond Driven by Pantera.
Wow. Yeah, of course. And what does the future hold for the band? You know, you got a lot coming up. You got a big 2024. Is there bigger things to come? We're going to for that UK scene.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what, right? With regards to that shit, we're going to get to the point, I'm going to personally make it my mission to become fucking undeniable. So that you can't fucking ignore us anymore. Yeah. I'm going to be in your fucking face until you can't fucking pretend that we're not there anymore. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we've got big fucking plans. We've got more albums coming out. We've been recording new stuff, which is literally like some of the most brutal shit that we've ever recorded. We've got more tours planned. We've got music videos coming out of our arse. Like, this is an amazing time to be an Ingested fan, or just an amazing time to be a fan of death metal in general.
I love that. Now, give me an idea of what you think the heaviest riff of all time is. You know, the ultimate stink face. What's your favourite?
Fucking Funeral Inception by Suffocation.
Yeah.
God. That is fucking Jesus Christ. That shit changed my life.
Come on, give me a message for the fans out there. I think you've already said it, but let's have a short thrift of that.
To all of our fans all around the world, like wherever you are, like, thank you so much. Like, you have made or are making our dreams become a reality. We can't do what we do without you. So all the support that you give us, all the love that you give us when you buy a ticket to a show, when you stream our album, when you buy a t-shirt or buy a CD, like, that literally makes our world go round. And we can't thank you enough. Like, thank you so much. We love every single one of you. Don't ever hesitate to come and say hello if you see us at a show or you see us mooching around. Like, we're always down to have a chat with you. And yeah, we're just three working class lads. Like, two of us from Manchester, one of us from Wales. We've grown up without a pot to piss in. And, like, your guys' love and support is making us live our dreams. So thank you so much.
Amazing. And finally, what's the most used emoji in your phone?
Oh, metal horns.
Always. Or the goat. I've seen a lot of people call the goat. Listen, Jason, I'm looking forward to the show tonight. Thanks so much for joining me on the show, mate. Good luck for the future.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope we speak again soon.